it's really hard to justify why, say, 220 grams of carbs is any different than 265 grams of carbs with 20 grams of less or more fat, but the same amount of calories. It's just it's 180 calorie swing towards carbs or fat. We're talking an apple and a half of carbohydrates, right? We're talking a larger tablespoon of nut butter, right? It's really not that much. Yet people are typically hitting their macros within plus or minus 5 grams, or 10 grams at most. Why? I can't justify it. We have no data. So anecdotally, I don't think it matters. Logically, I don't think it matters. Experientially, it doesn't matter. And then in the research, it really doesn't seem to matter when we take a look at relatively high and relatively low carbohydrate diets, so long as protein is there. As long as you're not going like keto, it seems to be decently okay. Now there are individual differences, don't get me wrong, but this has shifted me towards, all right, what is the minimum fat, carb, and protein intake that I would like someone to hit? So I'm still giving macro guidance. And then what's the calorie range? And all of a sudden, this gives someone tremendously more flexibility. Like I think of it as MACROS 2.0. Like, the first kind of iteration of MACROS was just, okay, I have a rigid meal plan that, I saw Flex Wheeler follow, or whatever my favorite IFBB pro is, or my coach who's told me this is the magic clean food diet. And I was exposed to the idea that I could just fit different foods, oh my God, that are not on the bodybuilding list into these macros. My life has changed. That kind of that Christmas feeling wore off of that present pretty quick as people started taking their food scales with them to the restaurant and feeling like they were still trapped by a rigid diet despite having these three magic numbers because they were having to hit 62 grams of fat on a day-to-day basis, right? I see this as MACROS 2.0.